Get to the part where I give a shit.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credits. So you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
Nice. I'm Jared.
All right, so we're back with a full breakdown of a movie, Kraven the Hunter.
Right, a movie.
Yeah, a movie, all right. Bunch of Ruskies in this one.
And in case you forgot what it's about, the premise here, Kraven's complex relationship with his ruthless father, Nikolai Kravenov, starts him down a path of vengeance with brutal consequences, motivating him to become not only the greatest hunter in the world, but also one of its most feared.
That's not a lot. That's that's just so generic and so general. Yes. Like, what are the stakes here? Like, starts with vengeance and brutal consequences. What are they? Like, give me one. Give me something like
maddening.
Family's gonna fall apart, or give me something here.
Anything.
You can't just be like consequences. Yeah, that's every movie. Like,
yeah. And if he's becoming one of the greatest hunters in the world, like presumably he's probably feared anyway, because we all know the most dangerous game, human beings. So naturally he's gonna be feared. I guess.
Right. I don't.
It's all very silly.
How do we do for our prognostications?
Wasn't great.
Wasn't that long ago. I think I was leaning towards a John Wick Craven mashup here.
Which kinda
a little bit.
Like the premise is as silly almost as like, well, he's basically just trying to avenge that dog.
Yeah. Pretty much, right?
He's basically just trying to avenge that lion, I think.
Yeah, I think. And all animals in from his
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is kind of John Wick.
Yeah. So yeah, okay, all right.
Yep. Gratuitous violence.
Gratuitous violence. So
yeah, I guess you were right. I didn't get any of my wishes, but
no.
And you were right about Chameleon being kind of like shoehorned in at the end.
Sorry, buddy. I could feel that coming a mile away.
I mean, like he was in the whole movie, and he's like an important character in the whole movie, but they don't do the thing until the last 2 seconds.
Yeah, and is it him just like actually just changing like the man with no face or something? Man with no name?
It's not.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like made it that. So like basically the first half of his career before Craven kills himself, is like he's just like man of mystery, like quick change disguises, like he's got all these human realistic masks that he puts on all the time. He's basically like, okay, give me 2 minutes, and then like comes back and he's like got a whole outfit. It's awesome.
It's like Mission Impossible, just like 3D printing a mask.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And then the second half after Craven dies, that's when he does like go to a scientist and like is like make me into a thing. And so but they still don't like give him powers. Basically they like remove all the features of his face. So he gets like plastic surgery to make his face very neutral.
Yeah.
And then it's Smythe, Kingpin henchman there, the one in the wheelchair thing. He designs this like belt buckle for him that basically does like holograms, like holograms on his face.
Oh, okay.
So he's still not changing. He's still never changing into anything.
Okay. So the technology behind it is not just, there's no chemicals in him to like just like physically actually change. It's just like a projection.
Exactly. He does take some of like the same like super strength like serums and shit that Craven gets on later too. Because none of this is how Craven gets any powers. Like it's
just drinks a potion, has some lion blood falling into his blood.
Yeah, so stupid. That's not at all what happens in the comics. So
well, we could spend centuries doing that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, you want some quick info?
More than anything.
Okay, this is directed by J.C. Chandor.
Who's that?
It's just a guy. He's done a handful of things, mostly producing, but he's directed 6 things. Margin Call, don't know what that is. All Is Lost, don't know what that is. A Most Violent Year, I've heard of that. I don't know if it's any good.
Okay.
2014, Oscar Isaac, Jessica Chastain. It's great. That's a good cast right there. Oh yeah, I know this movie. Cast. I've heard of this one. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but
interesting.
Triple Frontier. You might remember that one. That was a Netflix
Oh, that's the one I was talking about in the thing in Trailer Trash that was filmed at Jurassic Park in Hawaii. There, where it was.
Oh, and this is the guy who directed that.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, yeah. So that one was like entirely filmed at that ranch. I don't know how much I talked about on the podcast versus just with you beforehand, but
I think none. I don't know.
Probably none. I was in Hawaii recently and went to the ranch where they filmed one scene from Jurassic Park and then Jurassic World and Dominion.
Yeah,
but also a million movies, like right, exactly what you did. Good plug.
Gotcha.
The King Kong ones were there. Jumanji, Triple Frontier.
Jumanji.
Yeah, the new Jumanji is not original.
Robin Williams, R.I.P.
Rip. But Triple Frontier, and I was like, oh, I've never seen that, and I was like, now I kind of want to watch it because I was like, this sounds horrible on paper, and then I looked it up, and it's got like 80% on Rotten Tomatoes or something, and I was like, how?
Yeah, I mean, you got Pedro Pascal in there, Oscar Isaac.
Sure.
Garrett Hedlund, Charlie Hunnam, and Ben Affleck.
Yeah, all people I generally like.
Generally. I mean, it's just bros in the woods making some bad decisions, you know?
Yeah.
Bros
but all
in the jungle,
filmed in Hawaii, on Oahu there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is yeah, that's right. This is the movie you were trying to explain to me. I was like, "What are you saying?" Yes. And like you were like, "They're guys who are going to try and get money in a thing." I'm like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Like, stop this.
I was like, "It's not the Expendables, but it kind of the Expendables."
Kind of is.
Yep.
So yeah, this is his. He did that in 2019, and this is his first movie back. So the pandemic may have,
broken his brand.
So he directed this. Writers, we got 3 of them, which is not generally a good sign.
Yep, agreed.
So we have Richard Wenk.
Not gonna comment.
No comment. You have nothing to say about that.
Nope.
Nothing at all. Not a single word.
Dick Wank.
Richard Wenk. So he's written a lot of stuff. He's did this, The Equalizer 2, 3, The Protege, Jack Reacher Never Go Back, which was bad, The Magnificent Seven remake, which was not good. He did all 3 Equalizers, it looks like, actually. The Expendables 2, speaking of The Expendables. 16 blocks. Yeah. All the way back to 86. Wow. They're just all like action, step up. Right? Yeah, they're kind of B action movies, like kind of a step up. I mean, you get Denzel Washington, The Equalizer. You get the Expendables, that cast. It's like bad 80s action movies made now,
Yep.
But not, and I say bad, not even in a good way. So
no.
Yeah, so he just knows how to write a mediocre action flick. So
which this was.
Yeah, actually, that's which this was. So, and then we get the other 2 guys, Art Markham. Yes, that's potentially his real name. I don't know. And Matt Holloway, who I think are like a screenplay duo here, writing duo. And I bet they came in to kind of maybe punch things up or clean things up. Yeah. Their list, they've done 7 things together. Shadow of Fear, which I don't know what that is. The first Iron Man, which...
What?
Everything I heard, there was like no writers on that one. So like that was like kind of all over the place. Like
someone had to have written it.
Somebody, but I mean, there's Art Markham, Mark Fergus, Hawk Ostby, like all written. This Iron Man I'm talking about, and like
yeah.
I remember them talking, like seeing interviews with Robert Downey Jr. and Jon Favreau being like, yeah, we didn't really have a script. We're kind of just like on the fly doing things with this movie. So
interesting.
Punisher Warzone.
Didn't see it.
I think I saw that one. It was mediocre. Transformers: The Last Night.
Oh, okay.
Which is not good, I think. I don't know. I think we can do that one on here. Men in Black International, Uncharted, the video game movie with Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. I liked, what was the one you said before that?
Men in Black International.
Yeah. I like Men in Black International. That's stupid.
Chris Hemsworth. It's
a bad movie, yeah.
So they have these stuff in movies on their credits.
Okay.
Kind of like big budget movies. Iron Man, Punisher Warzone wasn't, but I mean Transformers, Men in Black, Uncharted.
The second you get a Transformers movie in there, you're talking at least a couple $100 million.
At least
for a budget. Yeah.
At least. So you're working with Michael Bay, that's what happens. So yeah, that's what these 2 guys. These 2 guys are just kind of there. I think maybe they came in to punch things up or something. I don't know. So
weird. Okay.
Yeah, very strange.
Good research.
So we have 3 people to blame. Who's in this movie? We got Aaron Taylor Johnson, who plays Sergei / Craven,
who's
the
in
Hunter.
everything.
Well, he plays multiple Marvel. He plays multiple Marvel characters now, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. He's in a billion things.
Yeah. Generally, I mean, he was kick-ass, right? I was kind of, that's what launched him there. I generally don't have any issues with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Some people have thrown him out there as being a next James Bond, which
meh.
He's a Brit, so he's got the voice. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It doesn't come through in Craven.
Yeah, he was in Tenet as well. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, okay. Ariana DeBose plays Calypso.
Okay.
Don't know much about her, but I think she's...
Like, the cast isn't the problem with this movie.
No.
Generally speaking.
No. She was in Wish, Once Upon a Schmigadoon. West Side Story.
So funny, dude.
Yeah, it is. I've seen a couple episodes of it. So, not a lot of big stuff, but good stuff. Fred Hechinger? Hechinger?
That's what I would say, yeah.
Yeah, he plays Dimitri / the Chameleon. This is Sergei Craven's younger brother there. He was in, you and I were trying to figure this out. I was like, man, I can place that kid's face, but I don't know what he was in.
Yep.
He was in the first season of White Lotus. That was what...
Totally makes sense.
That's him. And then I'm flipping through his credits here. I'm reading a book called The Butcher's Crossing. Came out in like the 60s or Western. And he's in that movie with Nicolas Cage. Which apparently which had like a 70+% on Rotten Tomatoes. So
outrageous.
Alessandro Nivola, who we talked about in the Trailer Trash, I think. He plays Rhino.
I think so.
A local guy here, Boston, Massachusetts born.
Oh, Boston man. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that. Do you remember that?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, I think at the very end, wasn't it the very end of Trailer Trash? And I was like, oh, Boston guy. Okay, cool.
Cool. All right, we done here? Yeah, he's been around for a while. He's in The Brutalist, American Hustle, Face Off. We're talking about chameleons, you know? So
original Face Off or remake?
Original. Come on, 97.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
I don't know either. Moving on. We got Christopher Abbott plays the Foreigner, the most dumbest villain comic book characters ever, and at least in this movie he's so stupid.
No, he's stupid in the comic books too. In the comic books even worse because he doesn't have any powers. In this one he seems like he has powers.
I don't know what they are. He can count and shoot people. That's so stupid.
I think it's about counting.
We'll talk about it. Christopher Abbott, you probably don't know him, but he was in The Possessor, which is a pretty good sci-fi flick. Comes at Night. He was in Poor Things.
Okay.
Yeah, so good stuff. Who else we got here? Russell Crowe, obviously.
Big name, yeah.
Daddy Craven.
Flexing his Russian.
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing says Russia like New Zealand.
Nothing. Is he New Zealand or Australian?
I think he's New Zealandish.
Yeah, same thing.
Tomato.
And then we got Waleed Hamad, who plays Elevator Guy.
Nice. Nailed it. Confirm, Russell Crowe is a Kiwi.
He is.
Yeah.
Okay.
61. He looks great for 61.
Yeah. Not bad. All right. Well, on.
For as Russell Crowe as you can be, you know? One of the all-times, you know?
Yeah. So you want some numbers too? I'm going to give you numbers. I'm moving along here.
Yeah, do it.
So this movie came out in December of 2024, which was only 4 months ago. 5 months ago, basically. 4 months ago. It did go to the old theaters there. It made worldwide. It made 60 million. Just over 60 million.
That's a decent amount of money if it were a cheaper movie. I mean, that's like 17,000 fanatics. So
it's
not bad.
But it's not what they need. It's not good.
Yeah. It's not bad unless you spent a ton of money on this movie, which I'm assuming you get to.
We'll get to. That was split pretty evenly, 25 million domestic, about 35 million international, and on a budget of 110 million, and that's just the production budget.
Oh, no.
Oh, honey, no. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're not making that back.
And I feel like they did a pretty decent marketing push on this. So, I mean, they're probably in for 130, 150 million maybe.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's a Sony Spider-Man adjacent movie. Like, they always do a ton of marketing for them.
Absolutely.
They always hope it's going to be the big winner.
Then it just disappeared like a fart in the wind.
Like, I I mean, I know that's kind of the whole premise of our podcast is like, and well, it's not the premise. That's the premise of our enemies podcast. How did this get made?
Yeah.
As far as like, how do you get all the way through something that you spent $100 million on and be like, you know what, this is good, and then like, well, you put it out there.
It's the trust they have in artists to say, hey, go make this thing, and they give them their notes. And then, then it's not even artists. Maybe the notes from the executives who think they know what they're doing were like, oh, change this. We need more backstory. People aren't going to get it. They show all this bullshit,
Ugh, yeah. I don't get it.
It's the forever battle between artists and money making,
Yeah. Like, how does the whole industry run? It doesn't make sense to me.
How is it still alive? Which I don't think it really is, actually.
You're probably right.
I think it's actually dying. So
I don't know, man. They're still spending. This was last year. They still spent $100 million on this movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of I'm sure Sony had some hit that,
I'm sure. Yeah. Isn't there it's like some estimate of like, you'd only need to spend like $5 billion to end world hunger or something like that. You're like how many avatars does it take to end world hunger? Like we could have been done with this by now.
So true.
Maddening. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about movies.
That's right. And how life interweaves with it. Rotten Tomatoes, 15% from the critics.
Generous.
Audience, 73%.
I have no words.
So this is the reason why, but still they only made 60 million. They didn't make their money back, but 73% of the audience was like, yeah, this movie was good. I don't know if that's just Rotten Tomatoes being, manipulated here a bit, but
I don't know, man. I think people probably like this. Like the action scenes are kind of cool sometimes.
Yeah, but it looks like shit. The CG is terrible. It looks so bad.
Great.
In the year of our Lord 2024. I mean,
I've seen worse CGI.
We have seen the worst.
We have seen much worse CGI. Yeah.
The worst. But this is like $110 million. What did you do with that $110 million? Like, who did you hire to do the?
They set it on fire. I don't know.
Most that's got to go towards CG, and then the act. Aaron Taylor Johnson and Russell Crowe. Like he's not commanding $20 million or anything like that. Like,
nope.
Well, so
no.
Not
these days.
Not even Aaron Taylor Johnson's getting $20 million. So it's like,
no way, no.
So what are you doing?
Yeah, that's fucked. 73 listeners. I don't want to blame you, but
this is your fault.
Yeah. Did you review this positively on Rotten Tomatoes?
Do you know what you're watching? Do you understand how good? I don't either. So,
well, live and learn.
Live and learn. Okay, you want some fast facts? I got quite a few of them here. They're fun.
Back me, daddy.
All right, fast facts. Here we go. There have been previous attempts to bring Kraven to the big screen, and they have all failed.
Really?
Sam Raimi wanted to include him in Spider-Man 4 before it was canceled.
Oh, good.
Kraven's spear was seen in Amazing Spider-Man 2, 2014, with Andrew Garfield as a tease for his planned appearance in the Sinister Six film, which was also canceled. Ryan Coogler wanted to include him in Black Panther 2018, taking inspiration from Christopher Priest's Black Panther comic book, but he couldn't secure the rights.
Okay.
Our boy John Watts there wanted Kraven to be the backup villain for Spider-Man No Way Home 2021 in case the multiverse story didn't pan out. So, yeah, Kraven's just been floating around in the background of all these movies. So,
who likes Kraven as a villain?
I don't know. Like,
I don't get it. He's stupid.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Spider-Man has such a cool rogues gallery. Like, why would you?
Why even bother?
Yeah.
Anyway. This is a file sender in case you were wondering. Aaron Taylor Johnson's six-pack abs displayed prominently on the poster are real and not photoshopped.
I was wondering.
Photographer Gavin Bond, who took the original picture, confirmed saying, yes, those abs are real. This young man put in some serious hours at the gym.
Interesting.
Weird.
Interesting. Gavin.
And who is asking the photographer, like, hey, are his abs real? I'd be like, who cares?
Yeah.
Who's asking that? Who cares?
Don't comment on people's bodies, Gavin.
Yeah. Jesus.
Interesting.
In his more human looking form, Rhino wears glasses. In nature, rhinos have terrible eyesight.
You're the worst.
Gotcha.
Oh, great. So the movie's consistent.
Yep. Kraven the Hunter was presumably inspired by Rich O'Connell's 1924 short story, The Most Dangerous Game, about a Russian aristocrat who hunts people for sport, which we talked about earlier. And Kraven's the Hunter's debut in The Amazing Spider-Man number 15, August 1964. Kraven refers to Spider-Man as, quote, the most dangerous game.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's great. And even that's like the setup is silly because you're like in the Marvel universe, like why? Like there's so many more powerful people than Spider-Man. Like
yeah,
like you know the most dangerous game is Galactus.
Yeah, like if you're really looking for a challenge,
Kraven, you silly guy,
you silly guy in the woods. This is the first Marvel movie from Sony to be released with an R rating.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And is the 12th R-rated Marvel movie after, let me clear my throat here, The Punisher from 1989, Blade from 1998, Blade 2, 2002, The Punisher from 2004, Blade Trinity, 2004, Man-Thing, 2005, Punisher Warzone, 2008, Deadpool, Logan, Deadpool 2, and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, some of those are some of my favorites. I never even heard of Man-Thing. What was I doing in 2005?
Yeah.
High school, yes.
Yeah, 2005. I was not paying attention to that.
It's like Swamp Thing, but not DC.
It's Man Thing.
Marvel Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. This is fun. Calypso looks at a Daily Bugle webpage, and Foreigner brings a Daily Bugle article to Rhino. Daily Bugle, I don't know why this is on here, but if you don't know, Daily Bugle is the Marvel Universe newspaper based in New York City that Spider-Man takes photo, or Peter Parker works for.
Yeah, bad trivia because you're like, if you know anything about Marvel, then you know about the Daily Bugle.
Yeah, I guess like it being a little Easter egg in the movie is like, okay, cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did notice that, and I was like, oh, cool.
So I don't remember catching this, but so Rhino says in the movie that Miles Warren, did he say this, provided the treatment that gave him powers. In comics, Miles Warren is a genetics professor more known for cloning than providing powers.
That's so like when I said, because we were listeners after the movie, we were talking about the doctor that gave chameleon powers, and I was like, it's either Doc Connors or that guy that Rhino talked about that I had never heard of. And this is the guy I was talking about that I couldn't remember the name of, which I, again, have not familiar with at all.
Yeah.
Jackal. He turns into the Jackal. Okay.
Of course. Everyone's got to turn into something, right?
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I completely forgot about him as a character entirely.
I didn't even know. The budget was originally set at $90 million.
It's still too much. And then what happened?
But it climbed to $110 million due to the strikes, right?
Oh, it's labor's fault.
Yeah, great way to blame it on them. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Some Sony exec probably put that one in there.
Definitely. yeah.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Trivia.
Yeah. So we can't have nice things because you want to get paid.
Lame.
Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson was considered to play Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man from 2012, and Russell Crowe was considered to play Wolverine in X-Men in 2000, which that tracks.
I could see that.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah. Gladiator days.
Aaron Taylor Johnson instead of Andrew Garfield. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, picture Aaron Taylor Johnson in 2012. I mean, that's 13 years ago. He's not this swole guy who's married to a 6-year-old woman and he puts his hands on his stepdaughter's butt at the award ceremony. Did you see?
I guess.
Did you see that? It was so weird. It's like, all right, man. I guess maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe you hug your stepdaughter. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. No, but I feel like 2012 Aaron Taylor Johnson also did not look like Spider-Man.
I mean, he was, I don't know, 13 years ago. I mean,
he looks like a poor man's Johnny Depp.
Oh my God. What was he doing in 2012? Was he doing like, was that Kick-Ass days or was that?
Yeah, it was Kick-Ass. Yeah. I was just looking at the Kick-Ass premiere photos to be like, what did he look like back then?
He definitely, in every photo that's taken of him, and even in this movie, he's got this constant like droopy British model smug look about him.
Yes, you're totally right.
I feel like I'd still want to go grab a beer with him though.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think? Yeah. No? Yes, no?
I just scolded Gavin for commenting on people's looks, and here I am talking about people's looks again.
Right. Here we are.
I guess you're right. Like he seems like he might be cool enough. I think he might be too cool to hang out with. That's what I'm worried about.
It's funny that he's played 2 Russians in the Marvel Universe.
That is interesting, yeah.
I just realized I was scrolling through his list of stuff here, and Pietro Maximoff.
Yeah, he's got like Russian face, like angular.
Russian face.
Got those cheekbones, those Russian cheekbones.
Anna Karina Vronsky. I guess, 2012, you would have been, that was Kick-Ass 2 days. So,
yeah. Okay. Huh. Neat.
Let's move along here. Hey, this is a fun one. The Russian music at the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
Which I was like, oh, this sounds like a kind of familiar little Russian-y tune here.
Yeah, I knew that song.
Is Hymn to Red October main title from The Hunt from Red October, composed by Basil Poliadoris.
Yep.
I thought it sounded familiar. I was like, this sounds really, I cannot place this in for the life of me, but this sounds really
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I think fun. I wrote in my notes, like, is that the Hymn to Red October?
Makes me want to watch that movie because that movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Kraven the Hunter is the final 2024 film to feature the Columbia Pictures 100th anniversary variant.
Oh, thank God. Again, Sony, bury it.
We're done.
Don't celebrate this. 100 years. What did you do last year that was good? Like which Columbia Pictures movie came out last year that you were like, you know what?
Yeah.
Celebrate that 100 years. You did it.
They had some hits in the 80s. Filmed under the working title Safari.
Come on. Ridiculous.
And I don't know, this last one, it's not really trivia at all, and I'm curious as to why it's even on the IMDb trivia list here. And I don't like saying enemies. I don't want to say if they're enemies of the pod, but I mean, maybe we'll just bleep it out. But it was featured on the comedy podcast How'd This Get Made? Maybe I'll just bleep it all out.
Yeah, I didn't know that they did this one already, which I guess makes sense. But like, that's quick. I feel like they usually don't do things that are still like recently out. But
yeah, they're more like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah,
where I think
more
we
like
do
what we used to be, like scene by scene.
But we're like, well, they're like, aren't they? I don't even know. I don't think I've ever listened to a full episode of their show.
They're long, like ours used to be, and still are sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely go on a lot of tangents. They always have like a comedian guest or something. Not always, but
do we need guests? Should we have guests on here?
I think that would be too much. We've done episodes with guests, and I feel like it's too many.
Too much.
That's how the episodes turned into 2-hour episodes.
I know we talked about really like a long time ago. We're like, we should have guests on, like random people who worked on the movie.
Right, like grip number 3.
Yeah, grip number 3. Or like, let's get the elevator guy. Let's get like the person who was like just an extra on the set or something. Like,
I think that could still work. I think it would need to be probably like separate episodes.
Maybe that would send us to the stratosphere of podcasts where we're talking to the guy who's working on it. We're talking to the guy who goes to work, clocks in, clocks out, and goes home, and we're not talking about the guy who's on the red carpet and looks like he's smug all the time.
No, the last person I want to talk to is Aaron Taylor Johnson.
No, I want to talk to grip number 3. Let's go.
That's right. Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, give me Waleed Hamad.
Let's go.
What's that guy doing right now? Anyway,
what's he doing? Like right now, right this moment, what's he doing? Where is he?
Having breakfast.
Probably sleeping. Right in California, so it's like 8 o'clock. He's just waking up.
Yep, makes sense.
All right, you want to Hollywood pitch me, motherfucker? You want the Hollywood pitch me? I gotta get into my Russian accent here. Let's go.
I was gonna say you've been practicing. I can tell.
Yes. Why don't you pitch me, you motherfucker?
So this movie is obviously Alien 3 meets Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yeah, let's go.
Right? You can see it.
Yep.
So Alien 3, as we all know, one of the least good aliens. I feel like that was the start of the decline, right? I think that was the first David Fincher Alien, right? only David Fincher Alien?
Yeah. Alien 3, that was like his first big movie.
Yeah, which I love David Fincher. Not your best effort.
No. But there was a lot of behind the scenes bullshit going on, a lot of studio interference, and it was not a good time for him. But
yeah, that all tracks.
Yeah.
Just like this movie sucks.
Yep.
So they have that in common. The next thing that they have in common, I think, is the plot's all over the place. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, they're just like, it's like you took like a Mad Lib generator and like made a movie script out of it, and that's what this movie is.
Pretty much.
Like, what if you put these characters together, and then there's random animals, like all kinds of animals?
Sure. Yeah.
And Alien 3 has that's the first, definitely the first Earth animal hybrid alien with the dog alien, remember?
Yep.
Which sucks.
Yeah. Because everyone, you have to introduce some new alien type. It's like, no, you don't have to. You don't have to do that.
No, you don't have to. Just stick to the first two.
Yeah.
That went pretty well.
Yeah.
Both of those were good.
You notice how there's a massive decline in these movies when you start messing around with it? Yeah. Maybe you learn something.
Do the formula. Yeah. It was like all these characters that are not related at all that like immediately somehow have a little bit of chemistry that is inexplicable, and they're like no one meshes together because that's when Ripley gets dropped on the like the prison ship, and they're like, okay, like you don't belong here. None of these people belong here together. Like it just nobody fits, and that's a lot of what happens in this movie. Is like you're like, wait, why are they working together all of a sudden? Like that doesn't track. The solutions throughout are like very silly. Like they're all just like, okay, like they're like, what if we just poured molten lead on the alien? That'll probably kill it. And you're like, wait, what? And in this one, they do a lot of that too, where they're like, what if we just like dropped a mountain on top of Craven? That would probably kill him, right? You're like, nope. Just like an alien, it's not going to work.
Nope.
And then a little bit of wishful thinking. I wish our hero died at the end of this one because Craven stinks and Ripley does die at the end of Alien 3. Kind of.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. It doesn't. Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't. Nothing matters. When money's involved, nothing matters.
It's all very silly. It's like just as like an example of like a silly movie that is action packed. No arguing that. Alien 3 and Craven are both full of action moments.
Yeah, absolutely.
But none of it matters.
None of it matters. Nope.
They just like erase it for the continuity for later.
Yeah.
And like this movie is going to end up being like, they're like, well, we're never going to do Craven again.
Nope. This movie just exists out there. Kind of just floating.
Just goofed.
Yep. Okay.
So meets Fear and Loathing. Mm-hmm. So again, a little bit, I'm leaning into the chaos of Fear and Loathing. So there's a lot of like animal-based hallucinations, just like our movie here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Mystery drugs that you're like, that shouldn't work the way that it works in this movie. Just like in Craven, you're like, how is that the thing that is the thing? Like, what is this potion doing? What is this rhino backpack doing?
Backpack was so stupid. Yeah, what's in there? What juice is in there? Like, what's going on?
None of the drugs make any sense. Like, it's all very silly. Like Fear and Loathing. Takes place kind of, I mean, it's like mostly in one location. Like a lot of it's in London and Russia, basically. And there's like, random traveling. There's like constant traveling. Obviously, that's like kind of the whole premise of Fear and Loathing, or parts of it.
Yeah.
But like inexplicable traveling, like this would take way longer than it should.
Yeah.
Like I did look it up, and the flight from London to Siberia is like 9 hours. So like they're killing 9 hours every other day in this movie.
And I love how like a lot of the locations here are like very, very generic, like northern Russia, northern Turkey. Like
they're all in the north somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
And some weird speeches that happen.
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing has that weird speech.
Yep.
Weird speeches.
Couple weird speeches.
This one also has like a couple of weird, like, you're like, why are you you're that. As far everything we know about the character suggests that you wouldn't be saying that right now.
Yeah, right.
And like again, like I mentioned in the trailer
fault.
trash, I was like, how do you turn Craven into a hero? Because he's not, and they did somehow.
Yeah, well, he's going after poachers, but he's still hunting people. But he's going after.
And he's hunting bad men, which you're like, that's like not real. Like Craven doesn't hunt bad men because they're bad. Like they make his motivation in the movie very much like doing the work of like undoing the bad that his father did. He's like trying to atone for his father's evil, right?
Yeah,
it's like the premise of the movie. Mm-hmm. The premise of the comics, he's just like, oh, I just like need a challenge, and I like want to hunt dangerous people, and like that's kind of it. Like he's not.
He's like it's the Predator, basically, right? Predator's coming down.
Basically, yeah.
Right? I mean,
that's exactly it.
Predator came after, but I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? Like
it's not that deep. Like he's definitely his dad like messes him up. But other than that, it's like he's not avenging anything. He's just a hunter.
Yeah.
Very, very one note.
That's why they had to give him all this, because then he got nothing. Like, what do you do? A whole movie of just him, some character doing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
That's why he's
like Punisher.
That's why he's gonna be a villain that's just like secondary. Like,
yeah,
exactly. Can't give him his own whole thing here. So it's stupid.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it.
Okay.
A lot of drugs, chaos, hallucinations.
I buy all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you got?
I changed mine up last second here.
Last second?
Yeah, one just popped in my head, and I was like, that's it. This is the one we're going with here. And I've done this before. So I'm going, it's the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn, I think part 1, or maybe it's part 2. I don't know.
Okay.
It's one of them. Meets Hard
The one
Target.
that we did?
Yeah. Which one did we do? Did we do both of them or one of them?
No, we did part 1, I think, only.
Part 1 only? Okay. Maybe it's part 1 then. I don't know. I'll start describing.
Confirmed we did part 1 only. Yep.
Okay. Well, that's a plug for that anyway. You should go listen to that episode because it's pretty fantastic.
Oh, perfect.
Meets a Hard Target, Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, which I've definitely used in my pitch before.
Yep.
But this one just knocks out of the park. So Breaking Down part 1, part 2, kind of like a weird, it's like this, I forget which one she turns completely over to being a vampire and she's like testing out her powers. Is that part 2 or is that part 1? It's gonna be part 1 because that's the one we watched.
We did part 2 for the Christmas special, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
That's right, because that one is good reviews, but that's the one where she's like really testing out all the stuff.
And that's when she's like running around and doing all her stuff, and there's like just like basically, she's got vampire blood coursing through her, right? So
exactly.
Kind of like our character, he's got lion blood in him, right? And this magic potion. Very animals out in the woods, running around, hunting. A lot of hunting going on. Greatest hunters, vampires. Everyone knows that, right?
Everyone knows that.
No love story. No babies.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it for that.
Okay.
Everyone's got some powers, and powers, right?
Like powers that they shouldn't have.
Powers they shouldn't have. Weird family dynamics,
Yep.
Yeah.
Funny accents.
Yep.
A lot of Italians in Breaking Dawn.
Now meets Hard Target, Jean-Claude Van Damme special. Oof. So Hard Target. So Hard Target is, oh my God. Jean-Claude Van Damme plays Chance Boudreaux. Okay. It's a down in New Orleans movie. Yeah.
What a horrible name.
I know. Chance Boudreaux, right? He's an out-of-work homeless Cajun merchant, seaman, and former United States Force recon Marine. He saves some woman named Natasha Binder from a gang of thugs in New Orleans. And then he learns that this woman's searching for her missing father. And he's like, hey, I'll help you out, right?
Yep.
They find out that her father has died at the hands of a hunt organizers, Lance Hendrickson, speaking of Alien, and Pick Van Cleef. Ruthless businessman is right-hand mercenary who arranged the hunting of homeless men as a form of recreational sport.
Nice.
The screenplay was based on the 1932 film adaptation of Richard Connell's 1924 short story, The Most Dangerous Game.
Just like our movie.
And, case closed, okay?
Yep. Great job, buddy.
Yeah, jury, I give you what you need now. Mm-hmm. Hunting the most dangerous game, humans. That's what's going on. We got, New Orleans is basically kind of like northern Russia.
Some say, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
A lot of people say that.
I think New Orleans is like a mashup of northern Turkey and Siberia, you know?
Yep.
A lot of people say that with a little dash of London there, you know? Weird accents.
Many good people say that.
Yeah, bad food. No, food's good down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. I'm sticking with that, and that's it.
Wow, great work. Nice and quick.
Yeah, I think that's what we need sometimes. We need life to be quick.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Do you want to hear what Timtron's pitch was?
Yeah, more than anything. What do the robots say?
He said it's the Punisher meets the Revenant. He didn't clarify which Punisher. He just said the Punisher. So
okay,
here's his quick his pitch basically.
Give it to me.
This gritty R-rated Marvel origin story channels the brutal, vengeance-driven violence of the Punisher, with Kraven dispatching enemies in graphic fashion. At one point, even biting off a foe's nose. Foe's nose, right? That's fun. Foe's nose. At the same time, it evokes a primal survivalism and father-son trauma of the Revenant, as Sergei Kravinoff endures a harsh wilderness upbringing and a fractured relationship with his gangsta father, Russell Crowe.
I still never saw Revenant.
No, it's good. You should see it.
I know. Yeah, pretty good things.
Tom Hardy, our boy there.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah,
that's fun.
That's it. We've pitched. Everyone's pitched. Everyone's done.
We have pitch. That means it's time for summary.
Summary time with Jared. Sum it up with Jared.
Sum it up with Jared. Is that what we decided?
I think it's summing it up with Jared.
Yeah, we should write that down so we don't forget.
Jared summons.
Jared summons.
Yeah. Summons.
I'm going to court.
Sums.
So here's the entire movie. After their mother's death, Sergei Kravinoff and his half-brother Dmitri are taken under the wing of their ruthless father, Nikolai, to be groomed for his drug empire.
What a weird groomed. That's a tough word.
Total groomer. Yeah. Until a traumatic lion attack in Ghana changes Sergei forever. Northern Ghana, I believe.
Northern. Yeah, because everything's in the north, yeah, right?
Yeah. I think actually it is northern.
It is. It is. It is.
Saved and transformed by a mysterious woman named Calypso, which she's a little girl at that point, so kind of weird to sum it up that way.
Yeah.
Sergei flees his father's cruelty and grows into Kraven, a vengeful vigilante with animalistic powers for some reason.
Yeah, like why?
Yeah. Years later, Dimitri's kidnapped by Alexei Sistovich, a monstrous rhino-like figure, aiming to dethrone Nikolai, leading Kraven and Calypso on a brutal path of rescue and reckoning. In the end, Kraven discovers his brother has embraced their father's legacy, leaving Kraven alone, haunted, hardened, and donning the skin of the very lion that once saved him.
So this movie, I don't know. Let's break it down, I guess.
Yeah, we're gonna gloss over so much.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours, and it's almost actually 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like there's not as much credits as we had hoped for.
There's no post-credit scenes, no mid-credit scenes either. So
nope.
No,
so it's long.
Yeah. Sony Columbia TSG Entertainment the second in association with Marvel. The opening is pretty much a lot of the trailer. It's just him, the prison, this prison opening, which kind of sets off his journey, his plot, right?
Which makes way more sense in the movie than it did in the trailer. Like in the trailer, Russ and I were talking about it last time. We are like, oh wait, and then in that scene at the end of the trailer is like also from the prison break, and like they cut it up in a weird way that doesn't at all track in the movie.
No,
and in the movie, he's not in prison. He's like in prison in order to kill a guy.
Yes. Yes, he's doing a hit here on somebody. We get the chess master here from the trailer, and this guy is like he's just like another warlord, a Russian guy, right?
Gangster,
gangster of some sort, right?
So rival with his dad, kind of.
Yeah, rival with father, blah blah, right?
Yep.
Tons of exposition, blah blah blah, everything from the trailer actually, and then Kraven just parkours his way out of the prison. And I would say, and there's like it's snowstorm, and there's some scenes I think from the trailer that aren't in the movie, but and then he's like running around. He runs into some wolves. The wolves run away. Twilight connection.
The highlight for me was
in northern Pacific West.
Northern Pacific Russia.
Northern Pacific Northwest.
That's right. The highlight for me in this one was the roommate that he gets.
Yeah.
In prison briefly, because his roommate's like,
Mofo.
oh, the last guy. Oh, his name's Mofo?
I was going to put him originally, but I was like, Mofo.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, the last roommate, like, I hate roommates. Last one lasted a month before I like got rid of him or whatever. And Craven's like, I'm only gonna be here for 3 days. And then when he's escaping the prison, which happens hours after he gets into prison, the roommate's just like screaming at the top of his lungs, 3 days. So I'm like, what? Like,
why is this?
What is the writing? Why are you like this?
Awesome. So the whole thing just shows you his sense of his powers, right? And he takes out this guy who's one of the warlords here. And so the thing I got confused about, so he escapes, he runs to the snow, yada, yada. He gets out, he hops in the back of his little plane here and takes off. And so who's the woman that he talks to? And we get
doesn't matter.
I was going to say, because, okay.
She never comes back. She's not important.
Okay, because like, so this is like, it felt like his handler, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like he's the hitman going out, and this is his handler, I think. But
I was thinking more guy in the chair situation than a handler. Okay. Like more like, being the like the gadget person. I'll drive your plane. I'll drive your getaway car. That kind of thing.
Okay.
Like, I think he's driving the missions here.
Okay, but she's just taking care of everything. I was just confused because like she doesn't come back at all later, and there's no explanation of who this is.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, she doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, unless I was like, oh, maybe this could be Calypso.
Nope.
And like that would have been like because then
that would have made sense.
Because then they team up later on, they work together, or maybe I'm missing. Okay.
No, that would have made more sense. It's not Calypso.
Okay.
Yep. And basically, she's just like, next time you break out of prison, like, I'm flying, whatever. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Well, she has like 2 lines, and you're like, okay.
And why does he have this plane? Where does it? What he lives in like a hut in a greenhouse out in the middle of northern Russia. Like what?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Did he just collect the money from daddy gangster money?
You're asking all the right questions.
Okay, all right. I feel like when you write a script and like someone reads through it, these are the questions you write off to the side, and you're like, okay, let's figure out answers for these things, and then you do. But
nope.
There goes $10 million.
Let it ride. Title card. 16 years later. Yeah. Earlier. Sorry.
Kraven the Hunter. 16 years earlier. Don't worry about it. St. Michael's Academy, upstate New York. Yeah. So now, like the next 45 minutes to an hour is origin story.
Yes.
Right. That's like almost the.
At least a half an hour. Yeah.
At least a half hour. Because I remember I texted you, I was like, there's still 30. I'm only 36 minutes in, and that opening.
I did the same thing.
That opening moved fairly quickly. The prison scene breakout and everything.
That's like, I mean, I did read a couple of reviews of this movie afterwards, like critic reviews, and a lot of them were like, the opening was fun.
Yeah.
Then what happened?
then what happened?
Yeah, like why would you have a cool action-packed opening and then squander it all on this?
Yeah.
And we talked about it in the trailer. I think that is one of our predictions that came true of like some of the action scenes are good.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yep.
Other than the CGI, but like they're fun. They're like written well enough.
Yeah.
It's just the in between that doesn't make any sense. You can't tie them together. It's just loose string of action scenes that are like.
And then all the action scenes kind of become worthless because there's no. You're like, what are we doing here?
There's no stakes. You don't care about anyone.
Always have stakes for all your action scenes. God damn it.
Yep.
So basically the next 45 minutes, which we're just going to touch on some key things here, but the next 45 minutes is just origin stories for 3-4 different characters, right?
That's right. It explains their accents. That they're growing up in New York. So that's why they have neutral accents.
Mommy's dead. She took her own life because she lost her brain, which they kind of hint at throughout the rest of the movie, right?
Yeah. Daddy does a lot of mental health shaming here.
A lot of mental health shaming. We cut to northern Ghana real quick, where Calypso learns about tarot cards and gets some potion from grandma, and it's like, yeah, you'll know when to use it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we cut back to the boys on a hunt. Dad's like, we're going for a hunt. We're not going to a funeral. Your mom doesn't get a funeral. We're going on hunting. That's what boys do. That's what men do, right?
That's right.
Never fear death. they are the prey, we are the predators, they are the prey, blah, blah, blah.
We get a little bit of the development between the two brothers of like, yeah, dad's an asshole, but I'm like Craven's like, or Sergey at this point. Yeah. He's trying to protect Dimitri a little bit, but he's not doing a very good job of it. And Dimitri's like very clearly like in the shadows kind of thing.
Well, and Dimitri, I think, is also key to point out here is that Russell Crowe, Daddy Kravinoff, that's not his dad though, right? They're like half brothers, I think he said later.
I'm pretty sure it is his dad. I think it's different mom.
Oh, okay. I thought it was different dad.
Right? I don't know. I guess maybe you're right.
I don't know. I thought
why would he take care of him? Daddy Kravinoff doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to take care of someone else's kid, right?
Yeah. I mean, but does he?
Right.
Kind of, but not really. I don't know.
Yeah, if I take care of, I mean abuse. I guess he does abuse other people's kids. So
yeah. So that's this whole thing. This hunt is basically in this whole origin story that takes up 45 minutes of them as kids, teenagers here on this hunt. It's just basically dad talking about weakness. That's his thing. Weakness. Don't be weak. Don't be weak. Don't look weak. Yep. Repeats it a million times. Like, we get it. And he's there's certain actions and decisions he'll make later on because he's like, I don't want to be seen as weak. So
yep, that's right.
That's his whole thing, right? Yep. No respect, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of like the origin story for Calypso we got with the grandma. And then we got the origin story for the bros and why they hate Daddy there, Daddy Kravinoff, right?
Yep.
Then we get our villain, Rhino's backstory. He's just randomly on this hunt with them.
Yep.
And he's not the Rhino yet, but he's like, he's got this goofy ass haircut.
He's like on I think he's like on a safari also, and then like just maybe I think he was planning on trying to meet Nikolai here, and like that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
but it's all very silly, and and then even this scene they don't do a good job of it. Like
no,
like he's just like let's be partners. I think I have a lot to offer you, and he's like, what do you have to offer me? And he's like, I don't know, and he's like, well, then get out of here.
Get out of here, like. he's like, Daddy villain. He's like, your imbecilic voice is stalking me. You mean nothing. I'm like, ruthless. That's nice. Yeah. Let's go.
So funny.
I do love that they're on a. Oh yeah, go ahead.
While we were talking, confirmed. Daddy Kravinoff is Dimitri's daddy too.
Okay. Different mom.
He slept with one of the servants. Yeah.
In the house. As an old guy does, right?
Daddy Kravinoff does. Yeah.
So I also find it that they're out on a hunt, and then later on, Craven, he's hunting the people. Anyways, Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But then, so this is Rhino's origin story here, and it's the same thing as Mandarin from Iron Man 3. It's the exact same thing.
He's like
nerdy haircut. I go, hey, let's be partners. I got an idea, and then rich super guy says no, buzz off, ignores him, and then he's like, remember that time you ignored me? That's my origin story.
So dumb. Doesn't make any this guy seems like he's definitely got cool powers, and seems like he's smart.
Yeah.
Could do anything. Creates his own criminal empire.
Yeah.
But still real hung up on Nikolai Kravinoff.
Yeah. Like, okay.
Get over it.
Get over it, man. Grow up.
Yeah. We also do get a little bit of setup here, because this is when like the lion scene happens, right? For the origin of Kraven.
And Mufasa comes in here. The Lion King comes in. And the CG is so bad.
It's not good. Yeah.
And I was like, is this how this is going to go? Like, this looks like a cartoon.
Yeah. And we do get a weird, it doesn't really track with the character that we know so far of like Kraven's, code of honor, where he's like, oh, like a real legend fights fair, no guns, like only the tools you're born with, unless it's a knife, and then that's fine.
Then it's fine.
Because he does that later too.
So then the boys are out, like run around. We run to the lion here, Mufasa lion. The lion and this was kind of hilarious, just takes Sergey down, aka Craven, soon to be Craven.
Well, so he doesn't, because the lion's going to cooperate with him, and they recognize each other as like being buds. And then the dad shoots, and that's when he attacks.
That's when he starts like tearing up his shoulder, and like I was like, okay, this kid's done. And he drags him away.
So funny.
He just drags him away
to his death.
Yeah, pretty much. Meanwhile, across the same safari is Calypso with her parents. This is your one coincidence. This is your one coincidence, is it? And she just hops off the back of the truck and goes and finds him.
runs out into the
What?
plains here. Yep, and finds him somehow in the lion. And the lion like stares at her and then's like, "All right, see you later."
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
And Sergey's definitely dead, basically. And she gives him the potion, and then like this is when we get our first weird hallucination vision of animals and mysteries.
Which I'm pretty sure happened in Twilight Breaking Dawn. But yeah, so
Yes, definitely.
It's a 3 for mix because the lion's been shot, the king of the jungle, the legendary lion, right? His blood drops into Sergey's wound.
Yeah.
She gives him the potion. So potion plus lion plus human blood, you get Kraven the Hunter.
Whatever Kraven is. Yeah.
Whatever it is. Just a man comes around when a man comes around.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he does die. He dies at the hospital, comes back to life. Everyone's like, we can't explain it. And then everyone's like, never mind, go home.
See ya. Okay. Yeah. And then there's like a lot of just kind of bullshit from this point on, right? Like,
we're going to skip a lot.
You get some signs of Dimitri being chameleon. He's doing dead on, impersonation of dad. And this is still the boys here chatting away. And then the next big thing is Sergey's like, hey, I got to get out of here. Like, I'm taking off. I got to run away from home. And you get a situation. Dimitri's like, dude, don't leave me here. And he's like, sorry, bro, I got to go.
Yep.
Okay.
And then inexplicably, he like goes and finds a boat, and he's like, they're like, where are you going, son? And he's like, Eastern Russia. And they're like what? Like, you running away from something? He's like, yep. And he's like, okay, get on.
This whole thing cut this. I was like, why does this matter? Why are we having this conversation? Just show him on a shot on a boat and that's it. And then cut to the next scene. Why do we have this? Who's editing this? Like, recognize this scene means nothing. Like, what? This whole conversation was like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be like this boat guy's going to help him with something. He's like, nope.
Nope. Totally irrelevant.
Get on the boat. We're like, why have this?
The next couple scenes are like totally irrelevant, really. Like, because then he gets up in Russia and he's like meeting up with the oxen or whatever they are. I think they're oxen, right? I don't know.
Yeah, they weren't rhinos. You said I was like, I don't think those are rhinos. You said they're rhinos in the trailer.
I thought you were talking about
in the trailer. Remember, like they were running around.
Right.
Like, yeah, they're not rhinos. I don't know what the hell they are. They're like, they're something oxen. Like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
I don't know. I don't know animals.
They suck. Yeah,
we're no animalologists. What was that? We're no animalologists. Afraid.
Entomologists or whatever, meaning bugs instead of etymologists, like the study of words. So silly. So silly. This is like his love of nature, right? That's kind of like all they're doing here. They're just showing like he gets along with the animals and he's hunting poachers now because he's like killing people for fun.
And then I was really confused. So then he's off in the woods. He's hunting for, I guess, this little hut or something. Is this like his mom's like hangout or what was this? I was so confused.
No, it's the family property. And that's the thing. Another thing that doesn't make any sense is
and who's Pima?
He's hiding for.
Is that his mom? Who's Pima? Remember on the tree it was carved Pima. What was it?
Dima.
Oh, I thought it was
it's a nickname for Dimitri. No.
Oh, right. He keeps going. I was like, okay. I was like, what is this? Why is this?
I used to work with the Dimitri actually who went by Dima. That's the only reason why I knew that was a nickname for it. Otherwise, I would have thought Pima too.
It's like, what is this?
Yeah. Okay. Dima and Sergey. The boys here.
So this is like their little getaway hangout spot, little greenhouse.
And that's where I'm like, how is he hiding from his dad at the family property for 20 years?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of land, I guess. I don't know. Like,
he's staying at the house on the property. Like, it's like,
I thought it was like
this one little cabin thing.
Yeah, it was like a little greenhouse cabiny thing that was like it looked like a spot where like him and Dimitri went away to go escape their father, like hang out as young boys do.
Yeah. But you don't think the dad knew about that little hut? Like,
I mean, he's got to. Like, yeah, of course he did. I mean, that's where you hide all your nudie mags, right? And your beers.
Yeah, totally.
Right? That's a nudie mag beer hut. That's what that is.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Again, more questions.
Questions than answers.
More questions in the margins over here.
Yeah.
So then he gets like mom singing, and he's getting flashes of mom and the lion,
a lot of flashbacks,
dad voices, and past whatever. He's got Spidey sense. I don't know what's going on. And then we get the Twilight moment of him learning his powers in the woods. He makes a cool spear thing, throws it 100 yards, goes running with the animals.
Chases after a deer.
Very Twilight Breaking Dawn when she's discovering her powers.
Yes.
And then there's when he hears a gunshot, and this is his first moment of standing up for the animals. Yep. And he's got
it's stupid.
He's got yellow eyes. He's got sight beyond sight. Eyes of Thundera.
Yes.
You know,
he like climbs up a tree and then somehow like like miles away sees guys in a truck.
He's got animal vision. He's got Dimitri vision or Craven vision. You know.
Yeah, it's awful. And then it's from the trailer. He goes and like does like picks up a knife, threatens the guy, and he's like, "Is this yours?" And then throws it in the guy's face, punches the other guy to death. Yeah, and these are his first kills.
And this is him becoming the hunter, right?
Yep.
And it's all shot. It was shot very strange too. The way like they were against the backdrop. I don't know. It was very goofy.
And that brings us to 36 minutes in.
Yeah.
When we get back to present day. Ridiculous. We just skipped 40 minutes of the movie, listeners.
So this whole thing was like just like a flashback scene because we're back on the plane. He's still on the plane, shirtless, because obviously he's still got the tarot card from Calypso, who he does not know. He does not know That's Calypso.
Right. The woman at the front that has no lines. This is your last line. Call me when you need me again.
Like, who are you? Like, who are you?
What?
Who are you? Like,
I don't know.
What do you do? What is this?
Maddening.
So then he's catching fish with his bare hand. We get a call from Dimitri. So he's back at home on the home base here, and the little greenhouse, bro out porn mag place is now his home. He's got it built up. It's dope. It's a dope little apartment out there in far eastern, northern Russia.
Yep. Hunting more poachers, doing that.
Yeah, stuff from trailer. He's just they're loading up the animals, all the stuff where he just messes up this British guy. He's like, "Oh, get out of the way!" And he's like, "Well, I'm all getting out of the way. You get out of the way." And then they fight, and he kills him, and that's it.
Yeah. And then they do the big reveals of like, this is the origin of the character. Where like, oh, he's got this list. He's got this book with this list of names, and like, you're on the list, and I'm going to kill you because you're a bad man.
Yeah, he's a poacher hunter basically, but he's also killing people who are gangsters.
Yep. Exactly.
Did you start putting together the kind of like the twist here a little bit? Did you like kind of piece together what was happening at this point?
I put together the twist that it was his dad.
Yeah.
I don't think I put together the twist that then Dimitri was going to like take over afterwards. Like,
I didn't put that together either. I was like, about this point, I was like once he started killing not only poachers, but then
like Russian gangsters.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. There's some
Someone's
setup
going to
here.
be upset about this.
They put so much weight on dad and like weakness and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, wait a second. I think he's working him over to like basically be a hitman to kill all of his enemies.
Yeah. So frustrating. So then we get to this about to be funeral scene, right? We go back to Calypso's backstory, which is stupid.
Yeah.
We don't learn anything about her that would make her relatable or interesting or someone to care about.
No.
But the news is talking about these like vicious attacks on lawyers and judges, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
I don't care about this either.
Nope.
And like, this is a person I don't even know if this person exists in the Marvel universe, but like this like Chorney guy, and you're like, okay, like who cares?
I don't know. And this whole thing, this whole interaction. So this is a setup. So she's at the funeral, and then. Yeah. Craven shows up at the funeral and he talks to her and he gives her the card, the tarot card. And I was so confused with this. I was like, wait, do they know each other? Nope. And in the conversation, like they don't know each other. And she's like,
he gives the card and she goes, you're the boy.
You're the boy. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I thought he was going, cause like he gave her, offered consultants. I was like, I'm so confused. Cause like she was there, gave him the potion. Did she not stick around at all? And she just disappeared. She poured in his mouth and disappeared.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what happened.
And then she's like, it's my grandma's deck, and I still have that deck. It's right here in my bag, or whatever. And then,
how have you been carrying a deck of cards for 20 years in your bag?
How you've been carrying around this one strength tarot card for? I don't know. Anyways,
true. Even more difficult.
And he's like, I can find people. That's what I do. I'm the hunter, man. And I already found the guy that killed whoever's in the ground over there.
What would you say if I told you I already took care of this guy? And she was like, what?
And then this moves so fast. It's like, then it goes to her back home, Googling the hunter on Daily Bugle there. And then they have a meetup on a bench and all of the exposition that we ever need. And all of a sudden they become like this Daredevil Punisher or Daredevil something combo here. Where like, I'm the law and you're the hunter. And like, we can work together to go take these criminals down. It's like, what?
It's so dumb. And then they try to do a bit where they're like, his name is secret. Like, so like they call him the Hunter everywhere.
Right.
He's like, I prefer Craven, but only the only people who have ever heard that name are dead now.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it's
why?
It's Kraven with a K. I was like, why?
It's Kraven with a K.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking I'm like Kraven, like I'm hungry. I'm craving some McDonald's right now or something. You idiot.
Like, yeah, because that's what she asked him. She's like, "Oh, like, are you a gangster like your father?" Like, yeah, okay, like everyone knows who you are. Like,
right.
Kraven with a K.
Yeah. So basically, we get her backstory and all this sort of stuff, and then she's like, "Yeah, and the law," and he's like, "The law can get in the way," and
yeah.
She's the best at what she does. And then it's like, let's team up. Like, what?
Yeah. And her backstory is stupid too, because she's like, well, my parents were lawyers, so I'm a lawyer. And you're like, I don't care about this. But yeah, he's like, she's going to think about it. She doesn't agree to be partners with him immediately, even though she immediately does everything that he asks.
Yeah. So we get that connection. Then we jump to bad guy. We got Rhino in his office, his very clean computer screen, concrete office, right? He's got this stupid backpack. We got his secondhand dude giving him some updates. Bad at dog training. And then we cut to him meeting up with other gangsters, and he's just like, all right, you guys fight for who's going to be
Chorney's guy. Yeah. So like, he's like, set up a meeting with Chorney's top 3 men. And you're like, what? This isn't how non-gangster life works. I don't think this is how gangster life works either. Like, just like find those top 3 criminals and like,
bring them on in. Like,
set up a meeting. And then he puts them at each other's throats, and they're like, okay, the 3 of you like fight to the death, and whoever wins gets to be my new underling. Yeah. And they're like, what?
They literally stole that from Dark Knight. That's what Joker did to those 2 guys. Boom.
Right.
I'm recruiting here, and here you go. Here's 2 pool sticks. Fight it out.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Same thing. Just worse.
I do love, and they give Alexi / Rhino like the stupidest lines. Like he's like later on, like listeners, we're going to talk about how bad the script gets.
Yeah.
But like almost all of the bad dialogue comes out of Alexi's mouth, and they're like, yes, all right, best bitch wins. Like, why does he talk like this? Like he's like a little nerd. Like,
not intimidating at all. So then we cut to, well, we should step back here. So during that, though, we do get a sense of his powers, right? Because he undoes his little runner's bag there, and he starts running out, and then they shoot him, and he gets back up, and he's like, can't kill me. And then they settle down to
himself back in.
Yeah, the other guy shoots the other guy, so he's got his one guy. Then we cut to the club where there's Dimitri's club, aka Chameleon here. He's playing the piano. Was he playing a Coldplay song or something? And then he started playing Tony Bennett. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, and Daddy's like, oh, but my son can play anything. He's like Chameleon.
I was like, oh my god, like heaviest eye roll ever. Like,
yes, and the way that they do this,
don't say it.
Like, I don't know whose fault this is. If it's the kid that's playing Dimitri, or like, I don't know, like just like bad editing or whatever. But like the way that he's lip syncing these songs is
it's so bad. It's so bad.
Because they're like, oh, he can do an impression of anyone is the in universe explanation, but they're just playing the songs as written by the people,
right? And he's just lip syncing it, and it's because obviously that's how you make it sound as
like later they have him do Ozzy, and it's ridiculous. It makes me so mad.
So then there's a shootout at the restaurant, and Rhino's sending his regards, whatever, blah, blah.
The Rhino sends his regards. It's like so cheesy gangster, like.
So bad. Sends his regards. Like, why? What? Chameleon doesn't like guns, not a big weak gun guy. He's pretty weak, and Dad lets him know.
Yep.
So then we
need fighters, not cowards.
Yeah. God. So we cut back to the Rhino's office here, right? And
this is also like halfway through the movie, listeners.
Yeah, and secondhand man comes in. He's like, "Yo, dude, all the guys are dead." And Rhino makes his weird noise. I was like, "Why is he making this noise?" He's like, "What is happening?"
He's like, so he's a tough guy. See.
I feel like they let the actor kind of like take away the scene. He's like, he's going all method, and he's like, "This is what the Rhino." He just being. It's like, why is he? So they identify Craven because they spot his face. They got this footage of his face in the prison. Quick AI search, and boom, Kraven, aka the Hunter. And then
yeah, there's like a video that gets like a USB drive like slipped under the door.
Yeah.
At this like secret base that you have.
So this is another connection between two characters, which I was totally lost on. So Rhino, he says here, he's like, get the foreigner on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Later
So,
on, it feels like they don't know each other at all.
Foreigner?
No.
Yeah.
I read a little bit about him. He seemed just super lame, and in this movie, he's very lame. So
yes, he's just like a hitman assassin guy who has no powers except for he's just like in peak physical shape for a man.
Aren't they all? I guess part of like their attributes, like.
Yes, exactly. But that's like literally it. And then he can do this like hypnosis thing. That's what he's doing later. But it's not a power. He just like is good at hypnotizing.
It's so stupid. So then we cut to him showing off his stuff, and we're at a prison. He's like investigating the prison break place or whatever, and a guard comes up to him, and he's like,
"Hey, you can't be here."
All right, hold on 1 second. 1, 2, 3, and then we dance. And it's like,
yeah. He's not Russian, but
no, he's not. But he does this move like 4 times. It's the same thing. All he does is he counts to 3. The person's like, whoa, what happened? And he just has a gun and he shoots him. And that's it. That's his move. So
it's so frustrating.
Halfway through. Now, I think we can skip a lot of stuff here because all we get to now is I'm going to do this fast track here. Let me know if I missed anything important. But basically, Craven doing some parkour up the side of a building. He attacks his brother in a shower, which is a little weird. It's his birthday. They only meet up once a year to hang out. Right? Okay, cool. Craven calls out some guy for cheating on his girlfriend. Very strange. Don't want we need this. Like, cool. He's got great sense of smell.
Oh, he's got animal smell.
Does that come back later? I don't think so. Okay. They have a nice little private dinner together, talking about Papa, and then guess who shows up?
Papa.
Yeah, Papa shows up. He's like, Papa, don't preach. He's there.
Daddy
it's awkward.
Kravinoff.
Daddy Kravinoff's there. They pour some shots. He's like, hey, pour shots for men, not boys. Those shots, by the way, when you look at the glass, are like less than a finger full. So let's settle down there, Daddy.
Yeah.
Daddy
Coward shots.
Yeah. Coward shots.
Yeah. But they also like don't really do anything with that either. Like Daddy's just there to like celebrate Dimitri, and then they're like, cheers. And then it's like later that night, you're like, wait, what happened with Dad? Like he hasn't seen Sergei presumably in 20 years or whatever. Like, what?
Yeah. Time and this all doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So then the brothers are home. Like this is just like, again, glossing over. They do like a little bit of like, I forgive you for everything.
For leaving me with Dad.
Abandon me with Dad. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And then Craven's like, I can't sleep in the inside. I have to go sleep in the woods. So he goes outside, sleeps with his shoes off, comes back. And funny enough, Dimitri's getting kidnapped.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Because they're like, how do we make the plot happen?
Yeah.
I know.
All right, so then we got a chase scene. He's just chasing after the van, some action. It's if you played the first Spider-Man video game or the Spider-Man video games, Miles Morales ones, there's like a side missions in those games where you go and chase like cars in the city, and you jump. You've played it, right?
No.
Okay. It's great.
I played the first one. I didn't play the in between one, the Miles Morales one.
In the video game, there's like these side missions you can do, right? Where you go chase cars.
I love the side missions.
And you jump on the car, and then the guys like put their guns out, and you have to hop from either side, and you hit X, whatever, and you spine up the car and you tie it up. That's basically
exactly that.
It's basically this.
Yeah. That's right.
He's basically dodging them shooting. He's like bouncing around the car, and that's it. No. This is a helicopter stuff from the trailer too. He tosses a pipe right through a guy. That was kind of fun. Yep. Gets dragged through the water. There's no Namor down there. Namor.
Nope.
And then we cut to the clip. So they get away.
He loses to a buoy. That's
right.
what gets him.
Damn
buoys.
I'm a land hunter, not a water guy.
Yep. And then listeners, if the rest of this is going to sound like chaos, it's because it is.
It is. Yeah.
We just jump around to random scenes with random people and no connections, and it doesn't make any sense because immediately afterwards he's at Calypso's office and is like, all right, my brother's been kidnapped. We got to find him. And she's like, okay.
So then we cut to Dad's home and he's like, him and Dad chat, and he's like, hey, we just want 28 million for him. That's nothing. Pay it. He's like, that shows a sign of weakness.
The only other thing I wanted to say about the lawyer scene is because the way that they try to find the kidnapper makes me so mad because she calls one of her criminal contacts and she's like, "We're looking for a kidnapper. He's got a scar on his face and he smokes Turkish cigarettes. You know that guy? Find him." And you're like, what? Like, how on earth is he going to find a guy with a scar that smokes Turkish cigarettes? That's like half of Turkey.
I feel like that's like everyone's first Google search. It's like, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for, but I'm going to start here.
Yes. Yeah, feeling lucky?
I need a pair of shoes. Okay.
Great. Good start.
Great. Good start.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to clear, like, that's how they do this movie, listeners. There's no detail. There's no information.
No. And it feels like there's a lot missing just to move things along. So then, we're at Daddy's home. He's like, hey, it's $28 million. Why don't you just pay it? It's your son. He's like, if I pay, I show weakness. I can't show weakness. And he's like, by the way, here's a little gift. And it's Dimitri's finger. So
look what they did to my boy.
My boy that I don't really care about. And then Dad goes on blaming Sergey for this. He's like, you abandoned him. I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
easy.
You ran away 20 years ago.
Yeah, manipulative father, asshole.
Yeah, yep. And that's kind of it.
Yeah, we kidnap house. We do some chameleon doing impersonations. We're in an alley. Calypso gets some details from an informant who's working then for the Foreigner. He shows up.
Well, for Rhino, yeah, and Foreigners shows up to get the information, right?
Well, I thought no. Foreigner gave him bad information, and then Foreigner kills him.
Oh, I thought Rhino would. I don't know,
no, because the whole thing's a setup. So basically, the Foreigner gave the tip man, the source, bad information, which he gave to Calypso to give to Kraven. So it's all a setup. She bought it. Yeah. Yeah. Foreigner does his counting. That guy's dead. And then he calls Rhino. He's like, it's done. The setup. We're all set up. So
yeah.
And then we're heading northern
Calypso
Turkey.
Calls and she's like, Kraven, you got to go to Turkey. And he's like, okay. Yeah. Again, because they waste so much time on flights in this. like I don't know. London to Istanbul is probably at least another 6 or 8 hours, I would think, right?
Yeah, and now we're talking northern Turkey. I'm not even sure where that is.
Yeah, you'd probably fly into Istanbul and then go elsewhere.
Then you go northern or something. Yeah, I don't know. Or you can run, I guess, but
I guess. So he's like, again, they don't give you any context other than northern Turkey, and then it's just like Kraven doing a Metal Gear Solid, like creeping around, killing people immediately. Like you're like, what do these people do? Are these the right criminals? Do you know anything about them? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Murdering people left and right.
And this is where we find that he was set up, and the one main guy, he's like, Rhino, he set you up, and he's like, well, I don't know why. And then they jump out of a building, and we got an RPG hitting the side of the building, which is ridiculous. And holy smokes!
Well, I love that whole scene is so stupid. So he's like hanging a guy out the window, and then meanwhile we can see across the valley there's a guy with an RPG that's like aiming so far away at this wall, and he's dangling the guy out the window. And he's like, if you drop me, you'll never find out where your brother is. So then obviously he drops the guy because the RPG guy shoots. The building explodes. And like Kraven somehow wasn't there, like he escaped.
Yeah.
But the guy that he dropped, he probably fell like 30 stories and got like rock smushed on him.
And is still alive at the bottom.
And he's still alive at the bottom. Yeah, it's so dumb.
When you watch him go down the side of the mountain, they're hitting every drop down. It's like, okay, Kraven can survive this, but this guy, I don't.
This guy? Yeah. And then Kraven walks up to him and is like,
he's just
how do you know my name? Who took my brother? And he's like,
who's number 2 work for? Yeah. Rhino.
Yep. And then the rest of the building collapses on them, and they're like, well, definitely Kraven's dead, except for he's the title of the movie.
Yeah. And we cut to the Foreigner back there investigating again. He finds the blow dart, and he's like, does his counting. Guys are like, hey, what are you doing here? And he's like, it's a cool dart, isn't it? And he kills them, and okay.
Yeah, so dumb. Then I think we're gonna gloss over the next part, right? Because it's basically a ton of exposition from the Rhino with Dimitri, where they're like, he's like, we met once. You wouldn't remember. My hair was different. That's literally the line.
Yeah, and it's just the Iron Man 3 thing. He's like, yeah, I got ignored, and your father's an asshole. Yeah, I know that. Okay, and that's it.
Tells him his brother's Kraven. And he's like, oh, Kraven. That's his name now. You think my brother's just the hunter, or you think my brother's the hunter? That's just a fable.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Then we cut back to the Turkish hideout there, and dudes are checking out the rubble, and then Kraven's like, hey, don't worry about it, I'm fine. And then he calls Calypso and is like, hey, is all good? And she's like, I guess we got some bad tip from my contact. Like, you just met Kraven. Why do you trust her? There's no buildup here. Like, she gave you bad information, so maybe she's setting you up. Like, what are you doing?
And he's like, you're right. The whole thing was a trap. Rhino set it up. And it was like, is there anything happening at your office right now? And she looks out the window and she's like, shit, there are 5 guys walking into my building right now that don't belong here. And you're like, how do you know? Do you know everyone who works in the building?
Yeah. He's like, all right, cool. Let's get to the next scene and we'll figure this out.
He literally says, I'll meet you there. Which, like, again, she's in London. These guys are actively breaking into the building now. And he's in Turkey. You're like, you're not going to meet her there until tomorrow.
He does have a private jet, though.
Makes me so mad.
So then we're back at Rhino office. There's more Rhino chat.
And the script here is great. He opens this scene with, I call this my feed bag. You're just like, what? He's like, it's got all kinds of drugs and it's like a cocktail of medicines to treat my condition. You're like,
oh my God.
I call this my feed bag. Don't say that. Don't put that in the movie.
so stupid. All right, so he shows off his skin a little bit to Mitri, and he's like, hey, it's like bulletproof, but the paint's too much, right? And then we get into like, he's like, hey, betray your family. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, all right, I'm going to shoot him. Yeah. And then before he's about to shoot him, we get the elevator stuff from the trailer. It's like, ding, 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 ding. Yes. And it's just the foreigner.
Was be Kraven.
Yeah,
it's just the foreigner. Yeah.
It's just a foreigner who sneaks in and he's like there. And then now this is where I got confused because in between that, we cut back to the airfield where he met up with her, right? Because he got his private jet. They meet up, right? Well, yeah. Calypso and Kraven, sorry. And he's like, sorry I get you wrapped up in this. And I was like, yeah, well, you don't know.
Oh, wait, no, that's right after. Yeah, you're still good.
Yeah. It's right after. There's an intercut moment here. But and she's like, yeah, it's all good. I was like, you don't know each other. Why is this all good? This isn't all good. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
It's so dumb. And then Calypso's like, I don't like the feeling of this at all. And you're like, then don't do this.
Yeah, then don't go back to your law firm job. You're the best at it. You make a ton of money. Like, you go for it. Go out of here. Go
back to your life.
And then Kraven just gets in a little wrestling match with a leopard.
This is back in Russia, so they get on the plane together. They go back to Russia. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he fights. I think it's a cheetah. I don't know.
I'm not good with my.
I'm not good with Siberian animals and also ones that don't belong there, like this.
It's also CG ones, so it might be fake. I don't know. I think it's real.
Yes. And then he like kind of wins, and he's like, hey, bad cheetah, you don't hunt me. And then the cheetah like goes away, and you're like, well, what? And Calypso's justifiably like, you're a goddamn lunatic, I swear.
Can I get back in the plane and go home now, please?
Yeah. What is this dialogue here? And then you get a bunch more backstory about like, well, my mentor was one of the greatest assassins that ever lived, and he was murdered, and one man made it inside and cut his throat. That was Chorney or whatever. And so
So this is us going now. We're cutting back to the Rhino office. It's Rhino and Foreigner having this conversation. Yes. Yeah, and it's a big exposition dump here. Yes. And I was like, wait a second, didn't Rhino call him in? Doesn't he already know? Like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, and then we're back to Craven.
Rhino's like, get to the part where I give a shit.
And then we're heading towards the end here, and we're back. Now we're at Craven's home here, his dirty mag place, right?
The secret dome.
She's just chilling, having some coffee. Like, she knows the place. She's pushing buttons and checking all of his cool weapons and stuff. And then I know how to handle myself. I took Eritrean summer camp. Yeah. Okay, I wonder if that'll come back
Actually,
later.
I'm pretty good with one of these things.
Yeah.
Like, what? No, you're not.
Yeah. Well, she is. And then she identifies all of his toys and all this stuff, and he's like, "Oh, you know your stuff, don't you?"
Well, all of his poison plants, because they're talking about the potion now.
Right. He's like,
they'll either kill you or save you. Nature's fun like that.
Yeah, and then he's pressing her for the potion. He's like, do you got any more of it? Where can we get it? Do we know what it's made of? I could use that stuff. I need a little hit. You know what I'm saying? What do you got? I'm getting a little scratchy. And she's like, nah, Grandma died. Okay.
Yeah. And like, again, this is the dialogue in this movie is like, I gave you that potion. I didn't know what it would do. It saved my life. Did it? Trust me. It changed me. Exactly.
I was like,
what?
And then she's like, is it all worth it? And like, I'm like, what's worth it? What are you talking about? I don't even know what we're doing right now. What is like, what is what? Because
she says, we're going to get Dimitri back, but is it worth it?
Oh yeah. Like,
no. And then he's like, Calypso, I was made to do this. There's nobody that can beat me. Nobody who can even touch me.
Karma will catch you. He's like, nah, I'm faster than her. You smug asshole. Like,
yeah. And she's like, but Dimitri wasn't. What? What is the script? Who wrote this?
AI, I think AI did. And in these 3 idiots just came through and kind of like, quote unquote, definitely cleaned it up.
And we're rapidly accelerating to the end here now, thankfully.
Yeah, so then we're a quick ride. We got Rhino and Foreigner. Rhino's like, yo, dude, check out these cool dart gun I got, yo. Foreigner, and he's just like, yo, it makes you see stuff you don't even know. Man, Rhino's like, cool.
I like your style. Yeah. It's literally what he says.
It's the most boring car ride ever. Imagine just being a driver being like, oh my God, these guys are fucking idiots.
Poison darts again.
Again, really? Jesus. That never worked. So we go back to Craven's house and we get a phone call and he's like, wait a second, only one person knows this number. And it's Dimitri. He's like, sorry, bro, I had to give him a number because, whatever.
Yep.
Rhino starts giving his spiel and Craven's like, meh, whatever, and hangs up on him.
Yeah.
Which I was like, all right, that's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And then we go hunt down the hunter.
Yeah, we're gonna hunt the hunter. Bring me his body, or don't come back. Basically, this is setting up from the trailer, like all the commandos going out and
bear traps and doing, that's it. So,
and meanwhile, Calypso's gathering all the weapons from the shack for some reason.
and Craven's gearing up, strapping up. So we get to the woods and they're hanging out. That leopard CG thing that he jumps out and takes out a few, I guess. Yep. Dimitri takes off. Foreigner spots him running. We got dudes in the woods. We got Craven hunting them down, murdering with bear traps, splitting them between things.
Super funny, like very graphic deaths.
Yeah, they're all homemade predator traps. They're literally pretty much, I think all of them were the same traps that Dutch and the gang made when they're hunting the predator.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Like they're all the same ones.
Yeah, except for they work this time.
Yeah, yes. Helicopter drops some bombs, which...
Yeah, then... Like Rhino's like, I knew he would kill all those guys. Call in the helicopter. Yeah. Like, what? Why is the helicopter dropping bombs in the woods? And Craven says what we're all thinking. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, which he doesn't even say. His mouth doesn't even move. That scene, right. He's just sitting there. He's like, they obviously added it later on. You're like, you got to be kidding me. Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But of course, the Foreigner, because he talked about his dart gun, his cool dart gun, gets a shot at him. And what does he first see? Spiders.
Spiders, man?
Spiders, man? No, just spiders. So he's having like a little freak out sesh. We get him counting. He's doing his counting.
Fear and loathing.
Very Dr. Kane Scarecrow here, Crane Scarecrow type of thing going on here. They fight in like this kind of trippy little, Craven thinks he's seeing things. He's punching a log. He's like, are you punching? What are you doing? Blah, blah. Okay. So then Foreigner gets him at gunpoint and he starts his counting, which I'm like, at this point, he doesn't need it. Why are you counting again? Anyways.
Right. Yep. He's like, wait, you're the legend? Like, I thought this would be harder. And you don't see like Calypso sneaking up from the corner there.
He's like, uno, dos, and then foomp, right through the eye. And she's like, 3, motherfucker. The best line of the movie. And because remember, she took archery. So but she's got her own suit. Like, she's got her own outfit. She's got her own cool little superhero outfit. So
she is in the comic book. She does exist as a character. It's not really like this. Like she's a voodoo sorcerer kind of thing.
I know that, but I mean, it was just funny because she just like, she had this in her briefcase or her suitcase or something,
Yes, she's got a Marvel outfit already.
So then, inexplicably, he's down. I don't know if he's dead, but he didn't get shot like that. She's like, gives him more potion, and she's like, get up, motherfucker. And he's like, I knew you had more. And she's like, yeah, don't. I didn't want to share my family secrets with a lunatic, but you did anyways.
But you did.
You don't know him. You still don't know him.
And then she does like a whole she's basically like, don't make me regret this. You're not the only one with secrets. I've got my own secrets of something or other.
And the secondhand dude goes up to Rhino and he's like, yo, Craven's dead, boss. And he's like, this is the second time. First time, he wasn't dead. Yeah. You guys told me this, so I'm not believing this. But he's like, oh, cool. Yeah, we're all set then. Put the brother in the car.
He believes it immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what a day. He literally says, what a day.
Yeah. Like, you think they got him this time? How about? Can you give me some proof? Give me his head. Show me his head. Show me his dead body. Like,
nope, he doesn't care. He's like, maybe Nikolai will pay now that he only has one son.
oh my god! So then we're in the open field, safari field. Here we got a convoy. Here, this is kind of a quick shot from the trailer too, and
the oxen stampede kind of.
Oxen stampede, right? And then they start herding towards Craven when he was a kid. Same thing, and they sideswipe the convoy, knock it over. This is basically building up to our big fight scene. The oxen form a circle around them, so they can't run away. We got Craven jumping from car to car, then Rhino changing into the worst CGI monstrosity you've ever seen.
Yeah, it's not great. His final form.
Yep, they fight. They got some cool lines like, "Gosh, you're heavy."
Yep. Good dialogue.
Yep, they duke it out, just punching and then
flipping many trucks that for some reason are in the scene. You're like, why are all these trucks here? They weren't there a minute ago.
Nope. Sometimes
and somehow Dimitri survives all of this. Like he gets flipped in a truck at some point. He's like,
just a man when a man comes around.
Yeah. I don't know what Dimitri's on, but he somehow makes all of this. And they're like, it's kind of an even fight, basically. They're just like,
slapping each other around
out for the sake of,
Yeah, whatever. But Rhino's got Craven by the throat, holding him up, right? Yep. And Craven looks down. He spots his little juice hole, his little shooter up spot, his little HGH, hole. And he's like, I got an idea. And he sticks his little thing in there, his little pipe or whatever. He's got something. Ow. Why'd you do that? Then he wraps him up with the truck little anchor thing, the winch there. He wraps him up. And I was praying for, I was like, oh man, it'll be really cool is if he wraps Rhino up around the waist with like the cable, and he throws the hook into the herd, and the herd grabs it, which this all does happen. But I was hoping the cable would just slice him in half like Darth Maul, like right there. And I've been like, awesome. That would have been dope. Like, let's just do this.
Nope. Not so lucky.
No, he gets dragged into the herd, and the herd stampedes him for a bit.
Yep. And then Craven pulls the spear out of the truck, and he's like gonna spear him now. Yeah. And he's like, who sent you the video of me that identified me, whatever? And his the Rhino's last couple of lines are so silly and so funny. And he's like, even the great hunter can't see what was always right in front of him, which then I was like, wait a second, this is a twist I wouldn't have seen if it was Dimitri that was the one that had set up the whole thing. I was this is going to be cool.
At first, I thought
the dad.
So that's what I thought was kind of going to happen, because then they turn and they cut to Dimitri, and he's right there. I was like,
and he pulls out a gun. Yeah.
And I was like,
oh my God.
That would have been dope.
That's kind of a good twist. And they're like, no, it's just Daddy all along, which we knew an hour ago.
It's like, well, if you made it Dimitri, then maybe, I don't know. Like,
yeah. And then basically Dimitri's going to shoot Rhino, and Craven's like, Dimitri, that's not you. Like, let me kill him. Don't worry. He'll die.
He's going to be dead. He's going to be dead anyways, right?
And the Rhino's last line is my favorite. He just goes, I wish I never met you, Cravenoffs. Like he's like a Scooby-Doo villain. He's like,
Rhino out.
If it weren't for you meddling kids and that pup named Scooby-Doo.
And that lady Calypso.
I wish I never met you, Cravenoffs.
Oh my God. What a mess. What a nightmare. Jesus. Title card. Northern Russia.
Yeah, back in Russia.
Back in the US. Back in the USSR.
That's right. Back in the US.
Oh my God. So then we're at a camp, and we find Sergey finds Dad doing a little hunt. He's out camping, hunting.
Yep.
And this is where you get the whole thing. Dad spills the beans. Dad's playing 5D chess out there,
Yeah. Did you think the father wouldn't recognize the actions of his son?
Is that more Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I guess. Yeah.
Come on.
Do you think a father wouldn't recognize the actions of his son?
Don't be so thick, Sergey. Like skin like Rhino, your head thick. So stupid. Yeah.
Oh God. And then so basically Craven's like, wait a second. So you weren't strong enough to get rid of the Rhino. And he's like, no, but my son, no one is stronger
than the hunter.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And they drink together.
Yeah. Have some vodka. Whatever. Never fear death. Yeah.
Our empire is secure now.
We rule galaxy together, father and son. Wait a second, I've seen this movie before.
yes. Yeah. And then Craven walks away, and which Daddy wasn't expecting for some reason. Based on everything that's happened so far, you would think you would expect Craven walking away because that's what he's done.
Yeah. And then a really terrible CGI bear just kills his dad.
Yep. That's it. Yep. Basically, like he walks away, and Daddy goes, and a bear shows up, and Daddy like walks over to his gun, but it's empty, and they're all empty. He's got a whole rack of guns there for some reason, and they're all empty.
Yeah.
And Craven drops the bullets on the ground, and he's like, "Ha ha ha!"
Gotcha.
And walks away. Then that's the end. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
almost. Title card. 1 year later. So we're at the club. We got Dimitri doing his
Black
thing.
Sabbath.
Yep.
Dimitri playing Black Sabbath for some reason.
I was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Like, stop.
But it's his birthday. Yep.
Going through changes. I roll. Yep. Birthday celebration. So yeah, they goes on about finding a doc in New York. He's telling Craven, he's like, yeah, help change me, and he's
a little unorthodox, but
I was like, oh boy, here we go. This dialogue. Oh yeah, this stuff is so popular. He's like, you're not like Papa. And he's like, no, you're not. And he's like, you're just like him. And he's like, I have a code. He's like, I pulled you out of the fire to not become like Papa, all this sort of stuff.
I'm better than him. You're not better. You're worse.
Yeah. I have a code.
How did Papa die again? Hunting accident? Was that right, Sergey?
Yeah. Is that what you calling it?
Bullshit. You're just another man hunting for a trophy.
I just like this change in the bro here, and Dimitri felt so strange. Like it felt so sudden and so kind of like.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So then Sergey's sad, and he's like, Dimitri, no, like you can't do this. Like don't do that.
Well, they leave the club, and he's moving faster along here, and then Craven catches him, and he's like talking like he can still hear him, and there's like people all around them. It was very strange. I don't know. I was like.
Yeah,
it was strange. So he catches his brother Dimitri, and he turns him around, and it's Craven's face staring back at him.
Gasp!
He's the chameleon. And then, then little bro, he starts walking away again, and you see his face change into a couple different things, right?
Yep. And he's like, you know me, I've always been a chameleon.
Oh my god!
And Craven's like, who is this doctor? What did he do to you? And he's like, I can be strong now, like Dad always wanted. The rhino's gone. Daddy's gone. It's all there for the taking. I'm going to take it. Go home, Craven. And he like flicks him into the ear like Craven did at the beginning.
Yeah, when he's a kid, he used to flick his younger brother's ear all the time.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, by the way, Dad left you something.
BT Dub. Chameleon here. Dad left you something back at the house.
So then they go back to the house for some reason.
Just him. Just Craven goes back.
Craven, right. Yeah. And he's like, they do all like the lines from the beginning again, basically. Like, each of us has a path to walk. You are me, and I am you. It's Daddy Russell Crowe, just like
voiceovering, kind of like living in his head, right? And everything's boxed up, everything's covered up, it's all creepy, whatever. And he reads the letter, or whatever. Yeah, embrace who we really are, By the way, check out sweet footer vest, bro. I left you.
Yeah, and this is his like comic book outfit, like the lion skin vest. From the comic books, and they're like, oh, he got his suit now, and then he like sits on his little Craven throne, like from the trailer.
He sits in his chair like it's like an UGG ad. He's like, I'm like, stop being so smug, you son of a bitch.
It's horrible.
The end.
And then that's actually the end.
That's the end. Holy shit.
Yeah, how do we even fix this?
Let's see. Ameliorate Jared
Russ, ameliorate?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we are right now. Okay. I mean, I have some thoughts right off the top of my head here. One.
Okay. What do you got?
Cut that entire backstory. That 36 minutes. Boom. Makes the movie an hour and 35 minutes. Cut all of that. None of that needs to be there. Just have them exist. Have them be in this universe. I don't need to know this potion bullshit. The Calypso B story felt so crammed in here. Like, cut it.
Yep.
Get rid of it. Just have it be a father and two sons trying to, having a bad relationships and trying to figure that out. Done. Yeah. That's it. Make it a gangster movie. Make it a true gangster movie. But just the father and two sons. That's it.
Yeah. Do a Godfather. Make it a Godfather.
Yeah. She'd be like, I want to make the Godfather, but a comic book. Done. Do that.
Yeah. Make that's basically what it is anyway.
Yeah,
like the meek son ends up inheriting the family business and like
just do that.
Just do a Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah, take the cannoli, leave the gun.
Yeah, agreed.
Like the Calypso thing is just feels so ham-fisted in here, and
Yep.
like
So like the foreigner, like don't like cut all this like
yeah,
don't even put him in the movie. Like make it like random henchmen or something. Like you don't need him.
cut the boat ride. That's so stupid. Cut this. Who is this lady
Yep.
in the plane that's talking? How does he have all these resources and this money? Where is it? Just he's got daddy money? Like I don't.
I don't think so because he hasn't talked to Daddy in 20
Is
years.
he
Or whatever,
Batman?
right?
Like is that what you're trying to do here? Like
I don't know.
get rid of the in this lady in the plane thing. Like don't even have that. Just
Yep. Yep.
unless there was some
What else?
line of dialogue I totally missed where like this was like they kind of explained that, but I don't
No,
think,
they didn't. They definitely didn't.
yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, cut a lot of it. Like this movie could have been an hour and 25 minutes for sure. And I don't think we would have missed anything.
No.
Right.
I'm trying to think what else here. The foreigner, cut him. Useless. Waste of time.
Yep. Yep.
No need for him at all. And the rhino, I don't even know. Like always thought the rhino was an idiot. Was an idiot henchman.
That's kind of the premise, I think.
Like this guy is not an idiot though, right? Isn't he?
Doesn't seem like it. Yeah. Well, maybe he is because he's still trying to partner up with Daddy Kravinoff after all these years for some reason.
I guess so. I don't know. But I think even if you just cut out all the backstory bullshit, the flashback 16 years ago, I mean, that's 35 minutes right there. Just cut all that. We don't need it. Just get right to the movie.
Agreed. And cut a bunch of stuff in Siberia too. Like I don't need like, all these like poacher scenes. There's like two of them, and I'm like, give me one poacher
give me
scene.
one. Gets the point across. Gets what we're all here for. So
Yeah, the one that drives the story forward, the one with the list guy. Like, give me that one. Don't give me the first one.
no.
I don't care about it. Like you said, like that is part of the backstory, I guess. That's when he's a kid. Cut all the kid stuff.
All of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah. Make Calypso an interesting character if she's gonna be in the movie. Like give her like because like in the comic books, she's like kind of like a Kraven antagonist, like at times. Like, she is like kind of a villain of Spider-Man, but like not for like she's not buddies with Kraven. Like sometimes they partner up and sometimes they're lover. But like half the time she's just like pissing him off, trying to make him hate Spider-Man more. She's like the one who's like encouraging him to hate Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean, play up that a bit more, or at least like I don't know. Like you have to earn some of the decisions and choices that they were both making, that she's making too. Like if that's the case, is she gaining anything out of this? Like show more of that, get more into that. Like,
agreed.
Her motivation, she's like doesn't have any. She's just there with the potion just to save him twice, not once but twice. Like very conveniently, just saving him twice. Like, oh, we need her here because she's got the potion that's going to save him. Like.
Right. Like she has like no like agency and no anything.
But if you cut out all the potion bullshit and you just have him exist as this, then you don't have to have the potion saving moment. Then you can actually make her be more important. And not just like a plot device that like happened to be there.
Yeah, and the Calypso backstory in the comics is like way more interesting anyway. Of like it's not like she's the one who invented the potion. It's not like a family recipe that's been like passed down by generations. She's like she gets her powers from doing from sacrifice, like doing a human sacrifice on her sister. Ooh. She's like a voodoo like priestess, like in not from Ghana, from Haiti. Which like why change that? Like just make her from Haiti. Like I guess because they needed it to overlap with the safari or whatever.
Yeah,
but,
I guess so. And travel and then
it's also frustrating. Like just like use the comic. The comic books have the stories. We've said this every time we do a comic book movie. We're like the comic book wrote it. Just do that.
just do that. Please
don't change it. You're gonna do a bad job if you change it.
Oh my god. All right. I don't know. That feels like that's a lot. But
yeah, I think we locked it up.
I guess we're shutting it down. We shutting it down? I think we're done.
I think so.
I think we're done. I think that's it. I think we're done. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with a new movie, new trailer trash. In the meantime, you follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. Subscribe to us where you listen to podcasts instead of just auto download. And if you like the show, tell a friend.
Or tell a stranger. Leave a review somewhere. Apple, Spotify, they all let you do reviews now. 5 stars would be nice. Maybe a comment. But be honest, if you hate us, still give us 5 stars and just say why you hate us.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, maybe don't listen to this, but 5 stars for the
But 5 stars anyways.
Or if you want to send us long form feedback, you like really have a lot to say about us, or anything, literally anything, just send us an email. It's justmeetsthat@gmail.com. We read them in Trailer Trash, all that good stuff. Or go to our website. You can find merch. There's no mouse pads, but there are t-shirts, sweatshirts, tapestries.
I wonder if did all the prices of those things like just jump?
No, it ebbs and flows.
It ebbs and flows. Okay. Right,
yeah. If you check TeePublic on any given day, it'll be a coupon. So listeners, it's always discounted almost. Go buy a shirt. We would appreciate that. Or if you don't want to buy a shirt, but you're just in the mood to buy stuff anyway, buy Russ's book Host. It's available wherever you buy books, mostly Amazon. But
that's true, mostly Amazon. But yeah, anywhere. Really.
Yeah, read that. And anyway, if you don't want to do any of that stuff, just like I said, go to the website. It's justmeetsthat.com. Check it out.